Today on Dr. Phil, she found the love of her life. They just never met.
That's because he's been a little busy.
He told my mother he was a secret agent.
David's in a hospital in Turkey.
He had a seizure in prison?
No, at the airport. This is before he went to prison.
Is this guy real?
If he didn't have a passport, how did he get to Turkey?
When he got in the car accident.
Well, he had a car accident.
He had a car accident.
Killed someone.
Or is she being scammed?
Have you given him some money?
About $30,000.
Let's do it. Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, free. Take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil. Okay, now try to control yourself and listen to these sweet words. Oh, baby. I, too, want to accomplish my mission in life and just do everything that will bring happiness. And, baby, you bring that to me. And you're truly my companion and my angel on earth. I love you, sugar bun. And I'm going to do anything to make you as happy as you've made me. Now, Dawn says that this love letter is from David, a man she is in love with, but has never met. Well, that's because he's been a little busy. You see, for the last 7 months, this boyfriend, David, has told her he has a secret government job. A secret government job, and is currently being held in a Turkish prison. Oh, and he has also spent time in a foreign hospital recently. Now, this is David. Pretty handsome guy, right? I mean, he's no Dr. Phil, but he's pretty handsome. He's got some hair. And this is Dawn. Now, she is very attractive. Pretty snazzy couple if they ever do meet. Now, also, take a look at Craig. Now, he is a debonair military man, a Marine. He is in love with Jen, but has yet to meet her as well. She claims that she has leukemia and has been too sick to meet him. So, are my guests today being duped? The producer for this show, Astra Austin, I mean, she and I were on the phone till midnight last night, just kept digging and digging and digging. So let's just get started. Now, first, we're going to talk to Dawn about her secret agent man, David. Her family is a bit concerned that she is being scammed by this spy guy. Take a look.
I met David on Match.com. I had always said after I got divorced, I would never get married again. When I hooked up with David, it just changed the whole picture. I mean, I want to get married. I want a life. I believe he loves me because I can't believe somebody could write and say what he says to me and not mean it. This is from David. You are always on my mind. I want to feel your warm body. I love you so much. I'm gonna cry.
I am totally convinced that my sister, Dawn, is being scammed. I don't believe that this David person even exists.
I've never met David in person. On 3 separate occasions, I was supposed to meet David, pick him up at the airport, but it never happened. If David walked in the room right now, I'd jump out of this chair and run over and give him a big hug, just because I would know he's real.
She believes him so much that she's been brainwashed.
I've sent David money 7 times, $30,000 in the 7 months that I've known David.
This is money that she took out of her own savings. This infuriates me.
I send the money to David through Western Union. It goes to somebody else that lives in Turkey, and then he gets the money from them.
Dawn sent David every penny that she had saved in her savings account.
He said as soon as he gets back and gets things straightened up, he's going to pay me back.
I've seen one lie after another. He told my mother he couldn't give her information about himself because he was a secret agent.
David's told me that he works secretly for a government, and he can't tell me much about his life.
He's got her believing in all of these fictitious stories.
They found cocaine in his bag. He hadn't paid enough tax. He had a seizure. Got in a car accident. The other driver got killed, arrested. They took his passport. His machines got broke. Tried to commit suicide. I I just wish I was with David.
This is a scam artist, and he has completely got my mom under a spell. Shortly after their relationship began, my mom began to speak with a so-called daughter named Sandy.
He's got a 12-year-old daughter. She needs a mom. I could be that mom.
It was just some female participant that was agreeing to be a part of this scam. And once my mom wired the money, I'm sure she was probably paid for her part.
David's doing typical things of internet scammers, but I didn't want to let go of him. I love David, and I want to be with David.
What do you hope happens today?
That I get some clarity. I get
some answers.
Yeah, answers.
Now, and you, of course, you understand that I don't know the answer. I mean, I don't know him, and I don't have a crystal ball. So I can't tell you definitively whether this guy is real and this relationship is real or not. But I'm very analytical. Do you want to know the truth?
I want to know the truth.
Even if it's not what you want to hear?
Even if it's not what I hear. I want to know the truth.
If, in fact, this is a scam, what do you stand to lose here?
The $30,000 for sure.
Yeah, besides that.
And my heart will break, but it'll heal. It'll heal. I just need to know he's real. I just need to know, and they need to know he's real.
And if it's real, if he is real, what do you stand to gain?
A good life.
Yeah.
A good life.
And you believe to the core of your soul that he's real?
I do. I believe he's real.
Okay. So let me just tell you how I've broken this down so we can talk about it.
Okay.
I look at, from a psychological standpoint, I look at whether things fit or whether they don't. And the first thing I noticed was he has a lot of pet names for you. Now, I'm kind of a guy's guy. I mean, so I'm not the most touchy-feely guy in the world, but, I mean, come on. I made a list of the names that he calls you. This guy's never met you.
Right.
He's never touched you.
Right.
But he calls you sweet pea, sunshine, snookum, sugar bun, sweetness, sweet dawn, queen, my love, priceless, jewel, my everything, my world. Those are the things that got me to like him in the beginning because of all the love letters that he would write me. Yeah. The love letters that he writes you. One of the love letters he wrote you was, I have to say, was pretty touching. It was in his third email to you, third email. Yeah. It read in part, all day long I thought about you. Even when I tried not to think about you, I thought about you. When I closed my eyes, I thought about you. When I opened my eyes, I thought about you. When I checked my email, I thought about you. Even when I said goodnight to the stars, I thought about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I can't live without you. He's pretty eloquent. Yeah, he's real good with writing. Well, last night I asked Astra, our producer, I said, would you just take an excerpt from that poem, this excerpt? Yeah. And I said, would you do a search for it and see if that pops up anywhere? And that's plagiarized from like 100 different places on the internet. He didn't write this. Oh, really? He just copied it. You know, he stole it. I then started, he's like a secret agent guy, so for the government, right? I don't know what he does. Well, of course not secret. You know. How handy is that?
When she first told us that he said he was a secret agent.
Wasn't an agent. It was, he worked for the government secretly, and he couldn't divulge any of his personal information.
Dr.
That's pretty
Phil,
handy,
that's
isn't it?
ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, of course it is.
Why would he tell her that if he was really...
Well, then it wouldn't be a secret. But, I mean, come on. So, he's a government agent.
He did a good job then.
Yeah, well, but so I just started looking. No, just stay with me here. I'm just, I don't, listen, I don't have a horse in this race. I'm just trying to figure it out. So then I started evaluating whether or not the way he writes matches who he says he is. Because if you get people that, there are a lot of scams that come out of Middle Eastern countries, right?
I know that.
And so one thing we know about those people is they're not real good at English. I wrote down some of the things from his emails to you. He says, I hope you are fine and in good health condition. Why are you laughing?
Because now hearing you say that,
Hearing out loud is different than hearing it
Yeah.
said.
Yes.
I am a gentle-hearted man of 6'3" tall. I have a light brown hair and a blue eyes. I have a light brown hair. I mean, I could say that. Yeah. I have a light brown hair somewhere. He says, I have a light brown hair and a blue eyes. See, he doesn't really speak English. So he says, I have a light brown hair. He put in an A where it doesn't belong. He should have said, I have light brown hair and blue eyes, but he put in an A in the wrong place. I have a light brown hair and a blue eyes. Sound like he's a government secret guy from Minneapolis or something? You do make me feel so revived and bring me back that sensation I've longed for. This was after your first email to him, which said, can't talk right now, we'll send more later. His response was, you do make me feel so revived and give me that sensation I've longed for. After you said, can't talk now? Boy, you got a hell of a keystroke on you.
Hearing you read them, they don't make, yeah. I can...
What do y'all think?
We've read some of the letters in the beginning, and we told my mom, this man doesn't speak proper English. There's no way.
Well, it isn't just proper English. There is a pattern here.
A dialect type.
That comes from that part of the world. I love this one at the bottom here. I'd rather run away with you than running away with your money. How does Dawn get a hold of David? Well, we were there when she tried to reach him overseas. Plus, Dawn's sister, Gail, explains the drastic measures she's had to take to prevent her sister from sending money to her online boyfriend, David. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Dawn works for me part-time, and I give her a salary. And when I found out that she was giving money to David, I told her we didn't need her services anymore, and I stopped paying her. And she couldn't pay her bills. I started feeling sorry for her, and I started put her back on payroll. The day after I did that, she sent him $500.
And later...
If this girl is real, I will go out and buy her a diamond ring myself.
We send him and a camera to confirm that you are who you are. You'll meet with him when he arrives.
Right now we're going to call David. David's in a hospital in Turkey because he tried to commit suicide because they found cocaine in his luggage at the airport. Usually it'll ring twice and then go to busy, and then I have to call him back again. A lot of times I do that 5, 6, 7 times, and then finally he'll answer.
That's a European number?
That's a European number from England. I might call him about 50 to 70 times a day.
Do you love hearing his voice?
Yes, I do. I do love hearing his voice. I tried to get through to David last night and couldn't get through, so I'm going to try again this morning. Well, can't get through again, so I'm going to have to try again later. How's David doing? Yes, I called you yesterday. That was the inspector from Turkey. They're detaining David. I'm going to try and call David again later.
Well, that was Dawn trying to reach her boyfriend, David, who she never met. She tries 50 to 70 times a day, but she got a hold of the inspector. Now, what's inspector? What's an inspector?
Like a policeman. Like there's a detective and there's the inspector, and the inspector's over the detective.
And
So
he answers David's phone?
No, the detective does. The detective's with David sometimes, and he answers David's cell phone. Why?
Why would he do that?
I don't know.
Why would a detective be with
The only
David?
reason I could think is maybe they're trying to find out who somebody trying to get a hold of about the drugs. Where are the drugs that you're supposed to be bringing us, maybe?
So you think David's a drug runner?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I'd like to believe he's not, but I don't know. But I don't know why they'd have his phone.
Okay, but...
Dr. Phil, the doctor that services him in the hospital uses his cell phone to call her.
No.
The other time he was in the hospital because of the seizure, I was with you.
This is
when
Gail,
the
by the way. This is
doctor-
your sister, right?
The doctor called her to tell her.
You talk to me. You don't need to talk to them.
Yes, I
Talk to
will
me.
talk to you. The doctor called her from David's cell phone, from David's hospital room, and said, "We will not release this man unless you pay his hospital bill." And she hung up, and I was with her that day, and I said, "Who was that?" And she said, "Well, that's the doctor," because, and I said, "On David's cell phone?"
But no, she wasn't on David. She was on her own. I have her phone number.
The doctor from when he had the seizure that called you that day.
I have her phone number. I've called her on her phone number.
So he had a seizure
Oh, yeah, when he was home.
in prison?
No, he had a seizure
At the airport.
at the airport.
How did he
The
get out of
first time he
prison?
was trying to come home.
This was
No,
before he went to prison.
This is before he went to prison.
This
before
is
he went to
the.
prison.
He went to prison once, then he went to the hospital, then he went to prison, and now he's back in the hospital.
He went
to jail when he killed that person.
No, he didn't go to jail.
You know,
He didn't go to jail.
He was going to meet you like at Christmas, but he didn't have a passport.
Right.
And he was going to meet you on his daughter's birthday, but he didn't have a passport.
He asked her to plan a birthday
Right.
party
Okay.
for the
Well,
little
let me
girl.
ask you something. If he didn't have a passport, how did he get to Turkey?
He had a passport. When he got in the car accident,
Oh, he had a car accident.
he had a car
He
accident.
killed someone.
Have you given him some money?
Yes.
How much?
Adds up to about $30,000.
And when
Okay.
I found out she was doing that, I told her she was stupid. And I told her she needed to stop and just think about this, that she was making a decision that was going to affect the rest of her life. And she told me to back off.
Well, recently, Dawn heard from David's lawyer, actually, and found out some surprising news. Take a look at this.
Tonight, the night before the Dr. Phil show, David's lawyer is sending me paperwork for me to sign to have his lawyer put $4.5 million into my account. David owes me $30,000, so I'm going to take that from the $4.5 million right away. I'm hoping tomorrow on the show I'll be able to prove this is all real.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
It hasn't.
But she thinks it will, Dr. Phil. She still believes and thinks that it will.
That it's going
He sent her a copy of a check for $2.5 million that he can't cash till he goes to Scotland. A copy of a check?
You understand that this picture that you're showing, that we're showing, this picture right here,
Yes?
we don't believe that that's really David.
You don't?
Neither do we.
No, and I'll tell you why here in just a
Okay.
minute. But first, I want you to look at something, because you're not the first one that has been targeted, if in fact that's what's happening here. There are some typical ways that online scammers work, and it happens so much that it's known. I mean, people have built some warning signs for this. And dating deceivers often pose as professionals working overseas. That's their number one way, because see, they've got to get far away from you so they can't meet you. They establish a relationship with a potential victim. They meet you on a dating site or something like that. They usually reveal quick declarations of love. I mean, like, they got to get to it quick, because these guys are usually working in a war room. I mean, they've got a big room set up, like in Nigeria, for example, and this David will have a list. He might be working 50 or 60 women at one time. They begin creating stories to elicit money. Okay, I'm stuck over here. I need a ticket home. My equipment is stuck in customs. I can't get it out. I've got a medical emergency, whatever. They have poor grammar and spelling. We went over that. They use instant messaging to mask their broken English. And that's a great thing for them, because they can use this instant messaging. They plagiarize letters and poetry. Now, we didn't make these up once we met you. I can send you to the internet, and this is a list.
I've seen some of it on the
They
internet.
provide few concrete details about their lives or their work. They send a fake photo. They want to see you on webcam. They create an emergency and ask you to wire money for them. Oh, I'm in the hospital. I'm stuck. I had a wreck. My equipment. My daughter's sick. They ask you to wire them money so they can be with you. If I just had the money, I would be there holding your hand. They ask you to handle banking for them in the United States. They ask you for personal information and passwords. Like, for example,
He's
when he was
asked
saying,
for them, but I haven't given them to him.
oh, yes, you did. You gave him your birth date.
And her driver's license.
Yes, because whenever he was saying, what's your favorite holiday? Mine is Thanksgiving. What's your favorite color? What's your birth date? What is it? He embedded it in a list of things so it looked innocuous, but he got your date of birth out of him in his second email. Okay? They pretend to be fellow victims of dating scams sometimes, and they sometimes pretend to be law enforcement officers working on dating scams. Now, I took all of this and applied it to your situation, and here's how it scores up. All but two. He didn't pretend to be a cop, just a secret agent or government worker, and he didn't pretend to be a fellow victim of an online dating scam, okay?
I think in my head, I know all that, but my heart doesn't want to believe it.
We've talked about how to spot an online dating scam. Now, what I want to do is tell you that there is even more power to find out who some of these people are. Now, Dawn has asked me to find out if David is who he says he is. So I've used this power to get some more information that I know she hadn't seen yet. We'll be right back.
We did have phone sex. I did enjoy it. Oh, God. I'm embarrassed to say it.
I do know that my mom sent David pictures of herself in risque clothing. It's not normal behavior for a 60-year-old woman. It is sickening, and I do believe that my mom is being exploited.
The fact that my mom wires the money to someone's name other than David Wilson tells me that his name's not David Wilson. I did Google one of the names that money got wired to, and the first thing that came up on Google was romance scam. I printed it and gave it to her. Unfortunately, that is not enough to convince my mom that the whole thing was a scam.
We're talking to Dawn, who says she is in love with and has had phone sex with a man she has never seen or spoken to in person. I'm kind of old-fashioned, so I don't get phone sex unless... I always thought that's like you rolled over on the phone. And so you thought, you know, move that. But...
It's what you do when you're desperate.
I guess. Look. Robin's embarrassed.
We all are.
All right. Look, we did some digging here, and we found the following website links in which David's image and even his name was mentioned. This one is called Pig Busters. It has to do with scammers awareness. And you see his picture down here?
Yes.
This is actually who this is. This is who you're talking to. This is a Nigerian. The verified location for this is the address.
Yeah.
You can trace this back through service providers, through the internet, and the verified location there is Nigeria, and the user is this guy.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe...
Here's this same picture. This is him, right?
Uh-huh.
This is your secret agent, man?
Right.
It's Chris Dante on yahoo.com. And that's not his name either. This is his other identity where he's working other women. Have I made my case?
You have made your case. I believe he's a scammer. I believe he is.
Dr. Phil, she has spent the last 7 months of her life completely wrapped up in this man. In this,
I have felt good.
fictitious
Most of the time, I have felt good. After I talk to him, I feel really good. He makes me feel good. But he's not him.
Here's the tragedy of all of this, okay? First off, can we be very real with you here?
Yes, please.
Your 30 grand, gone.
Oh, I know that.
One of the first questions I ask you is, what do you stand to lose if, in fact, this is a scam? And you said, I'll be brokenhearted. You know what? You've got people around you that have been charging the machine gun nest here that love you. Let them close ranks around you. And the real tragedy here is that's 7 months that you didn't spend pursuing a real relationship, a genuine relationship with someone that really would want to share some experience with you, some time with you, some give and take with you. If it ends today, then it's over today, and you have the whole rest of your life stretched out ahead of you. Let these people love you, and don't be mad at them.
I'm not mad at them.
Thank them for not giving up on you.
I'm not mad. I thank them. I thank them for doing it, but I just... And I know deep down inside that it was a scam, but I do want to believe it. There were too many holes in stories and things he told me, and I just didn't want to
But
believe
you were
it.
in love with being in love.
I was, yes.
I don't want to break your heart, but I don't want your heart to be broken and your bank account to be broken, too. You have so much that you can experience for real.
Thank you.
Okay?
You're right.
Are you glad you came here?
Yeah,
and
I
got
am.
these
I really
answers?
am. Thank you. Thank you. I am.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, next. Craig says he is madly in love with his fiancée, but has never met her. She was supposed to be here, but, well, she couldn't make it because she says she has cancer. Now, she's supposed to be on the phone, but, you know, we'll see. Maybe she'll show, maybe she won't. We're going to get to the bottom of another questionable relationship when we come back. We'll be right back.
Since I first met Jen online, I'd probably given her anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000. Around Thanksgiving, we had gotten engaged over the phone. My mom freaked out because I'd never met Jen face to face.
Today we're talking about online hoaxes and internet love scams. Now, Lucy says her son's former fiancé is a liar and a catfish who has defrauded him out of at least $20,000 so far. Take a look.
I met Jen online about 5 years ago after Marine Corps boot camp. It was really hard finding a girl that I could really connect with like I did with Jen. It was mental and emotional. After I went to Iraq and Afghanistan, our relationship died out. And then back in June 2012, she sent me a Facebook request asking, can we talk? We had been talking and texting nonstop.
He calls me up and said, guess who I heard from on Facebook? Jen. And I said, oh my God, here we go again.
Around Thanksgiving, we had gotten engaged over the phone. I'd posted it on Facebook, and my mom freaked out because I'd never met Jen face to face. Since I first met Jen online, I'd probably given her anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000.
If I was to guess how much he gave her, I would say it's about $20,000.
From every paycheck, I wired Jen anywhere from $200 to $300. A couple of months after I started talking to Jen, she told me that she had leukemia. I gave Jen $400 a month for 3 months to pay for her chemotherapy. I gave her $200 to buy a cell phone, a couple $100 so that she could maintain her vehicle, get an oil change, get new brake pads, $100 so that she could get a pack of cigarettes and get some food. About a month ago, I sent Jen $500, and that was the last time I'd sent her any money. My mom would always hassle me about giving Jen money because I'd never met her.
He can't understand the truth, and he really needs to snap out of this.
I think I was a really good boyfriend to her because I never cared about the money. It was more about her well-being and her happiness. If I knew Jen wasn't real, it wouldn't have changed my reasoning for giving her the money.
In the back of his mind, I know he knows it's a scam, but his heart is so into it.
I never met Jen in person because she always had an excuse. She had leukemia, she'd be in the hospital. She didn't feel comfortable coming out in the world because of the way that she felt she looked. I would love to meet Jen face to face. It would make me feel that the relationship was real.
If this girl is real, I will go out and buy her a diamond ring myself and get down on one knee and ask her to marry him.
All right. Well, it's good to meet you. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. It's supposed to be here.
You're not long back from being deployed overseas. You've been a Marine.
Yes, sir.
You've been in for how long?
4 years.
Yeah. You spent 3 months in Iraq and 8 months in Afghanistan.
Yes, sir.
What's going on here? You think this girl's real? Just forget about all this.
To be honest, all the negative evidence against her, I highly doubt it. You know, no matter what I feel and maybe what I think, and after looking at that, it's like, all right, yeah, I'm crazy. Not literally crazy, but, you know, I got caught up in a moment of emotional vulnerability. So yeah. I feel like I got consumed by it, you know, so now it makes more sense.
You said that even if you knew she wasn't real, it wouldn't change the reason you gave her the money. Mm-hmm. That seems like two sentences jammed together that don't fit or make sense. Explain that to me. If I knew she wasn't real, it wouldn't change the reason I gave her the money. Now, if you knew she wasn't real, then you would know the illness wasn't real, the cancer wasn't real, the need for the money and the treatment wasn't real, but you would give her the money anyway. So why were you giving her the money?
What's done is done. I can't go back and change that. The reasoning behind that, the emotions that I had felt and the connection that I thought that I had with this girl, you know, meant a lot to me at the time. But if I found out that she was fake after having already done this, I can just walk forward. Just say, you know what, what's done is done, life lesson learned. There's more money in the world to be made.
If she's fake, does that just piss you off? That she's used you in this way?
It does, absolutely.
Okay, so here comes this girl, and it's an online relationship, so there's no real demand there. It's kind of safe. She's sick, has a broken wing, so to speak, so you're just caring for her and nurturing her.
You know, I can give her a little money, feel good about myself, talk to her all the time, get to know her, vent out the emotions that I have, and then go back to what I'm doing day to day, going back to training or work.
So, but you proposed to her?
Yes. Actually, she had said that I love you and I want to get married. And then I said, you know what, I love you too, and I would be more than happy to be your husband. So then we made it official over Facebook, but in the back of my mind, I know, Facebook. But in the back of my mind, I thought, you know what, if this is real, if this is really going to happen that way, sure, I'll be more than happy to put that title of engaged with you. But the day that I meet you and the day that I really get to be with you, it'll be a surprise and it'll sweep you off your feet and you'll remember her for the rest of your life.
Now, you've tried to see her.
Yes.
You drove 3 hours to see her one time.
Yeah, so I called her up, and she was in the hospital at the time. I'm like, that's fine, no problem whatsoever. We're halfway traveling there. So I call her up, and she ends up saying, you know, I don't want you to see me like this. I'm in a hospital, you know, I don't really have very much hair. I'm nothing but skin and bones. And, I mean, I kept telling her, I don't care what you look like. You know, I care about the person that you are and how I felt about you. You know, so for what I felt, what I thought was real love, obviously might not have been nothing more than just a mirage. It's just something I was hoping to grasp at.
You were going to see her in San Diego, but her mother died, so that derailed. You're going to see her in North Carolina. That changed. You haven't talked to her in like a month.
Up until this. Up until about 3 days ago.
She's on the phone right now. Let's talk to her. You haven't talked to her in like a month.
Up until this. Up until about 3 days ago.
She's on the phone right now. Let's talk to her. Jen, are you there?
I'm here.
Jen, it's Dr. Phil.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. I'm here with Craig and his mother here, Lucy. And Craig's here. You have anything you want to say to him?
I feel like everything would have been fine between us if his mother did not butt in.
And tell me why you think it is that the two of y'all have not met by now.
Well, I have my own health, emotional issues going on, and like we have set up like plenty of times, like me, like I'm sure has been said, and like my own insecurities and my own health issues have gotten in the way. You know, and I've explained that to him.
Here's the thing, his mother, and you know, she's willing to take a giant step back from this, and I think she is, like any parent would be, she just wants to verify that you are who you say you are, and I think you can respect that, can you not?
I can respect that, but the fact that we have asked her to back off plenty of times before and she has not is what has disrespected.
Well, I'm involved in it now, and I'm pretty good at getting parents to back off. And you notice she's not saying anything just right now because I've asked her to kind of take a step back from this. And, you know, I'm one of those people that believes that people who have nothing to hide nothing. And, you know, we're kind of at a point where there is some concern as to whether or not you're who you say you are. And if you are, then we all need to butt out and mind our own business. And if you're not, then you need to be forthcoming about it. But if you are not who you say you are and you perpetuate this fraud, then we're going to use every resource that we can to track down who you are and aid and assist in the prosecution. If you're not, say so, and I think you would be willing to let this drop, right, Craig? Lucy, you'd be willing to let this drop and just be done with it?
Absolutely.
And we certainly would let this drop. You know, if you're not who you say you are, just admit it and we'll move on.
Is after this show is over, before he gets on that plane, I will get on Skype with him.
We can arrange that right now.
I have to wait until my aunt's roommate gets home.
Yeah.
You know, but I had told him, I'm like, I will Skype with you. I have no problem meeting up with you once I'm feeling up to it.
Okay, and listen, if you're ill, you shouldn't want to meet with him and talk to him. Just understand, and Craig, do you confirm my offer today that if she is not who she says she is, and she admits that and is forthcoming, you'll just say, okay, bad thing, we'll close this, just forget it, forgive, forget, and move on.
Oh, absolutely.
And if she is not forthcoming and continues to perpetuate this lie, then you will, both of you, agree that we should use every resource to track her down and prosecute her to the full extent of the law to protect others from being scammed and victimized in this way. You're at a threshold moment here. If you're lying, this is your ticket out of this with these people. You just need to admit it and move on.
No, I'm not lying, and they can investigate all they want because all it will do is lead back to me.
What is your real name?
My name is Jennifer Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Why does your picture pop up on 10 different social media websites?
I have no idea.
Where are you right now?
I am at my aunt's house. The reason I did not come down today is not only because I am sick, but because I am afraid of what I would do to that woman that is sitting over there by you right now. She has made my life miserable, and I am sick of it.
Okay, so if we send him and a camera to confirm that you are who you are, you'll meet with him when he arrives?
Yes.
Okay, so if we send him and a camera to confirm that you are who you are, you'll meet with him when he arrives?
Yes.
As long as Lucy stays here?
Yes.
And when he gets up there, there's no excuse, you look bad, you feel bad. You'll meet with him if you have to drag yourself to the door?
Yes. I will be waiting on the front porch for him to get up here.
Mm-hmm. Because we can have him there pretty fast.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, we can have him there pretty fast. I'll come to y'all's wedding if you're who you say you are. I'm serious. If you're not, then taking money from him may very well be a crime.
Yes, and like half the time, I didn't even want his money. It had sat there in the Western Union for a couple days before he had talked me into going to pick it up. Like I said earlier, me and Craig had met 5 years ago. Why would I hold up a lie if this was all a lie?
There is no reason the two of you cannot and should not have met by now unless there is something to hide.
Yeah.
So you're telling me if I put this young man in a helicopter or a car and get him up there right now, you will be on the front porch waiting for him?
Yes.
And I'm going to send a camera crew with him, and we're going to, this glorious reunion, we're going to tape that.
Okay.
All right. And I certainly hope that you're telling us the truth. I really do, because I don't know. You haven't met Craig, but I have. And this is a very handsome young man. He is clean-cut, straightforward, and the boy's ripped. I mean, he's...
I tied my own tie, too.
This is a very fine young man. You could do a whole lot worse, and I hope that I hope you're who you say you are. If you're not, I hate that for you.
Yeah, me too.
I hate that for you.
Well, I hope that you and Craig have a great meeting. I really do. I hope that if everything that you say is true,
I would like you to butt out.
Ooh. All right, next, a warning to these two potential victims of today's questionable relationships. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank my guests today. Look, because these love scams are running rampant on the internet these days, take a look at these two images again. These are most certainly real people who very likely don't know their photos are being used this way. Again, if something sounds too good to be true, look, it probably is. Just use common sense here. There's a whole lot more about all of this and the list that you saw today about how to spot an online dating scam and the resources that we referenced, the websites. We'll have all of those links listed on drphil.com as well. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter and on our message boards. Thanks for being here, and we'll give you an update on this young man's trip to Victorville, California. Thanks so much. So long. Thanks, God.
After the show taped, Jen called me on my cell phone and told me she didn't want Craig to come out and see her like she had told Dr. Phil. So we will keep you updated on Craig's story and we'll see what happens.